What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
So we have an NBA legend that comes out, and he's came out before and said that his favorite player, or spoke on his favorite player in the NBA, and he's actually spoke here lately that his favorite player actually plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, of course, I wonder who that can be, right? So Dr. J, I never looked at his highlights, but I never watched his game, back in the day. Of course, I wasn't born then or anything like that when he was playing, but I will say I looked at his highlights over the years, and I have to say I was amazed every time I watched him. This guy definitely knew how to play basketball. He was definitely very smooth, very, very operational on the floor, very methodical how he do things, but he also had like a nice way of delivering it. You see what I'm saying? Like if you look at some of his highlights and some of the rock the cradle dunk and some of the things that he did, and the up and under reverse behind the backboard, full extension. I mean, some of the things this guy has done that I've actually looked at in highlights was utterly amazing, especially for that time in the 70s and all that type era when he played, when it really wasn't a lot of that type of flashy type basketball, to that degree. He was doing it way back then before we even were born. So I have to give the guy credit. I got to give him much love and respect. And I appreciate the fact that he gives Kawhi Leonard much love and respect, that's his favorite player on the Clippers. And that's been his favorite player for a while, since the San Antonio days, from what I see. If you look on, I think it's Sports Illustrated, it's a couple other sites where he talks about, Kawhi being his favorite player. Honestly, I have to agree with Julius Erving. Kawhi's been my favorite player since the Spurs days, since he's been born in the NBA, which was with the Spurs. I've liked his game ever since then. I like the fact that he's not afraid on defense. I always like the fact that his attack mentality is always high, and the fact that he never backs down from anybody, not even LeBron James. I mean, his first 2 years in the NBA, what a lucky guy Kawhi was. He got a chance to play in 2 NBA finals with the Spurs, and both times against Miami, against LeBron James, and he matched up with him very well in both occasions, except the second time he matched up with him even better, because Kawhi was the guy that led the San Antonio Spurs to the championship in 2014 by beating the Miami Heat, which they lost to the Heat in 2013, the year prior, when Ray Allen hit that shot. So definitely a huge lift for Kawhi Leonard coming into the league like that, on a championship type roster like that, learning how to be a complete player, learning how to be a professional. And it's always good that that's recognized, or it's always good to see that that's recognized by other players who played the game and players who play currently. And a lot of players give Kawhi Leonard a lot of respect because they know how great of a player he is now, but where he started to now, it really speaks volume, because he was a guy who got drafted just for defense. He didn't get drafted for his offense because he wasn't really offensively inclined. He can give you 16, 17 points a game on average, but Kawhi's motto is board man gets paid. It's always been his motto, because that's exactly what he lives by, because he knows where he came from. Do the little things and big things will follow. You see what I'm saying? That's almost like his mentality, if you want to paraphrase it that way. And that's the way he played for years. And he definitely, has been rewarded for it with his hard work by winning 2 championships, two finals MVPs, and 2 defensive player of the year awards. You see what I'm saying? And he's been on all team, all defensive team, NBA. I mean, Kawhi's done a lot. He's been an all-star MVP, won the first Kobe Bryant all-star MVP. I mean, he's done a lot. The only thing he hasn't done is won an MVP of the league, but that's mainly because he chooses not to, because he chooses to load manage and gear up for the postseason rather than put all his stock in the regular season, don't have enough left for the postseason when it comes time to really win it all. And I have to respect that from Kawhi, because that's how he grew up in San Antonio, basically, with the Spurs. Greg Popovich would sit, him. He would sit Tim Duncan and the rest of the guys, even though they were older. He would sit some players during the regular season and gear up for the playoffs. When it's time to win championships, we need to be the best. We need to be at our best, and that's the way Greg Popovich implemented that to Kawhi and the rest of the guys on the Spurs back then. But at the same time, he taught them the intangibles of basketball, which allows them to see the game from a different angle, play with a different edge, but also be one of the most, if not the most effective on the floor at all times. So with that being said, that's the reason why I think Julius Erving really respects Kawhi Leonard, because he puts his head down. He doesn't talk much at all, but he goes out there and improves on his game every single year. Every single year, Kawhi improved on his game. He started out defense. Then, he started working on his offense. Then he started working on passing the ball a little bit more, not always being the guy to take the shot, give it to somebody else. He learned different things while he's been in the NBA, and he's, soaked it up like a sponge and really added and implemented to his game over these years. And that's what makes him a top player in the league easily. And like I said, I admire Kawhi Leonard's hard work in regards to wanting to be the best, wanting to be, an alpha in regards to leading a team and pushing a team and being a big part of the reason why a team can go, because he knows things about the game that other players don't, because not everybody had a chance to play with coaches like Greg Popovich. And, you got other coaches out there like Phil Jackson and stuff like that. But of course, Kawhi didn't play for Phil Jackson. But my point is, Greg Popovich is in that, same category. So the fact that Kawhi got a chance to play with somebody as great as a coach as Greg Popovich, he just basically implements all what he learned from San Antonio everywhere else he goes. And it works because the teams win, the teams, see success. And, the Clippers have a chance to see some, real huge success this upcoming season, with the team they have currently, because they have so many good pieces. A lot of people could see them winning a championship. I definitely could see them winning it. And, depending on health anyway, but I definitely could see them winning it. And so can you and a lot of other people out there as well. So with Julius Erving saying that Kawhi is his favorite player, me and Julius Erving's on the same page. He said in the article that he hasn't sat down with Kawhi or anything like that, had dinner with him or anything, but he has seen him at the All-Star game last year for the top 75 celebration. And he liked his demeanor and everything like that. And he just, appreciates the cordiality that they had between each other and everything. And he just appreciates him as a player. And I'm one of those people as well. I definitely appreciate Kawhi. He's definitely my favorite player. I never really like the guys who do too much talking. I like the guys who go out there and do, actions speak louder than words for me. So Kawhi would definitely be my favorite player because he doesn't do much talking. He goes out there and put it all out on the floor, leave it all out there every time he plays, and, no regrets. And that's the type of players that I'm into. But I also like guys who win. I like the winner type guys, you know what I'm saying? And apparently Julius Erving does too. And Kawhi Leonard is a winner. He's been a winner. He's got one of the best playoff records ever. And he's one of the best playoff performers ever, if not the best playoff performer ever. So, like I said, it's a lot to like about Kawhi. It's very little to hate about him if you ask me personally. But, I think more people will take to Kawhi if he wins a championship in LA. Even like some of the haters, because he's on the Clippers, I think more people will take to him even more so, because they'll have to, because he'll be one of the faces of the NBA, even though he already is that. But when you win a championship, you kind of, everybody on that team kind of gets a spotlight. You see what I'm saying? You'll see Paul George in more commercials, Kawhi Leonard in probably even more commercials. You'll see maybe Reggie Jackson or John Wall in a commercial, and you just get more notoriety, more everything, at least for that one season that you win, that you're on top, that you're the best team in the world, at least for that one season. You see what I'm saying? So, I think more people will get a little bit more acclimated to Kawhi even more if he wins another championship for the Clippers, especially a team who's never won it, never been to the NBA Finals, and a team that hasn't come remotely close. At least the Toronto Raptors, when they had DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, they at least, I think they made a conference final, Eastern Conference finals, conference finals, I believe, but they couldn't make it to the finals because LeBron was there. So, and rightfully so, LeBron definitely was a better player than both of them put together, and still is, and better than that team. So, until Kawhi went there, then everything changed. But hopefully he could do the same thing with the Clippers because they have a great opportunity in front of them, and hopefully he can, be a part of, their success, and being healthy and being there and being available. I know coming off ACL is tough, but I'm ready for him to come back. So is the rest of the world, because he brings a lot of ratings to the NBA, whether you know that or not, because he's definitely a top player. He's definitely a superstar. And like I said, not many players can deal with him offensively and or defensively. That's just how great of a player he is. He controls both sides of the floor, unlike any other player in the NBA. And I think that he's the best player in the NBA when healthy. And I hope that he comes out there and prove it this year. And I hope the Clippers go out there and take care of business and do what they got to do and, make it to that mountaintop as well. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.